What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here we have Centurion Bestial going up against the Cashtira Crystron deck. We're going to be playing the Cashtira Crystron deck over here. Before you dive in too much, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. We're on over 10k and we need your support. We are going to be going first on the Crystron side of things in game 1. Special summoning out a copy of the Unicorn in this case. It's going to allow us to search for a birth. We're not playing Theosis, so you're not going to be seeing that. You can opt to play it if you want to. Now, this is not going to do too much for us unless we have another Cashtira card in the hand. You have to have the hand of the 2 cards to open up that Unicorn there. We are testing out a variant where we are playing the Cashtira Fenrir instead, and then a Rise Heart, as well as Swap Frogs. But we're going to be normal summoning with the Fenrir, which is then going to activate, allowing us to search for another Fenrir here. And we're then going to overlay up into our copy of the Draco Sack, and then that's going to allow us to overlay up into Cherubini by linking away up into Cherubini by linking away those 2 level 3 tokens here. And on the summon of the Cherubini, they do activate the Nibiru. This is going to essentially board wipe our entire field here, and then we do not get anything out of it. No dumping from Cherubini there. We are going to be seeing the effect of Birth can activate, attempting to bring back out the Fenrir, and they do chain a Bestial on this, the Bestial Magnemite here on the Cherubini to summon out that Fenrir, and then we're going to be activating the Magnemite effect, and we do chain Ash to it, making so they don't get to search for any more dragons. I think we have 2 Ashes in the hand, which is why we did this, but we are going to be seeing Fenrir and a token against the world in this case. And we also have Birth, which can bring itself back other cards during the next turn, but we don't have any access to Crystron cards at all at this point. So we are going to be seeing them pass and activate an Oath, which is going to allow them to place the Primera into the Spell and Trap card zone. I'm still not super familiar with the Centurion cards themselves. I do tend to forget about these all the time. We're going to be seeing the Field Spell going to be activated there. This is going to allow them to place one, and we do ask how this card kind of works. Stand up Centurion. We're going to then see them activate the effect of Primera or Trudea, whichever one it is, summoning itself out, then activating its effect, searching for the copy of the other one there, the level 4. The Fire one, which is either going to be Primera or Trudea, whatever one that's not on the field. We're going to be seeing then the Fenrir going to activate, banishing the level 4 that just activated the effects face down. And then we do see them summon out the other one there, activating the effect of the stand-up, discarding a Veiler. They do summon out a copy of the Centurion in the main spell and trap card zone, so that the stand-up cannot get ghost over, because while we control a Centurion card, this card can't be destroyed by card effects, so it's kind of important. We're then going to see the Atri going to be placed in the Spell and Trap card zone. We then activate the Primera, placing itself back in the Spell and Trap card zone, and placing the Gargoyle as well, which can summon itself out. And then we see the Atri going to summon itself here and giving us an additional draw because you control an Oath and a Centurion card in the graveyard. And then we are going to be linking those away, or synchroing those away, I should say, for our Legatia. We're going to be seeing Legatia pop and draw a card as well. It's going to be pretty nice. And then we do add back that Centurion Gargoyle to the hand here. We then activate a Bestial Lubellion, allowing us to search, and we chain the second Ash to this, essentially saying, like, okay, you're not getting any more Bestials at all. Now, they do have Magma on the field, so they will be able to tag out, and we do just admit defeat here, realizing the game is going to be just over. We can't handle this at all, and we're going to be seeing the Centurion deck end up taking the win game 1. I mean, yeah. There's not much that we can do against that. Like, we kind of did just get hit with multiple hand traps there, which is kind of unfortunate. If we could have activated the effect of Cherubini on summon, it would have been pretty nice, but we didn't get to. We got hit with Nibiru instead. A pretty devastating card. Regardless, it's going to be fine. We have game 2 and 3 to kind of come back from this. Not having access to Centurion stuff is pretty rough. Also, something to or not Centurion, but the Crystron stuff is pretty rough. I do like the Swap Frog for that reason, being able to discard a card from the hand. I don't know if we had another Crystron card itself there, but a lot of the times, like, if you just discard, you can actually get, like, multiple things off, and then you can start banishing. Now, obviously, if you have, like, Chestalos, it's not ideal, but still, starting off with, like, a negate can be pretty nice. You summon out, like, you can go Fenrir, and then you can just go Toad, Send, summon out Swap Frog, and then swap frog send on your fourth summon. You end up summoning an Omni Negate, which is pretty nice. Then you can go for your Castria lines here. But we are going to be diving on into game number 2. With Crystron going first once again here. We're going to be seeing another Castira card being activated. Seems like we're just playing Castira at this point. We're going to be seeing the Unicorn being searched, which most likely means we have the Fenrir in the hand already. We're going to be seeing the Unicorn summon itself out once again, and then we're going to activate the effect. And do we get stopped on this? We see another double hand trap hand with the Ash, Imperm, and Nib. Or it doesn't look like that's an Imperm. It looks like that's the Phalanx. Here we can activate Unicorn in response, but we opt to not, and then we normal summon the Crystron Citri there. Going to be one of the worst Crystron cards. To be honest, this card actually sucks. But we do have a Solfador in the hand, which can activate destroying the Citri, which allows us to dump 2 cards from our deck, and this is going to be pretty much full Crystron combo. Now, they do have a Nib in the hand, so they will be able to interrupt us at some point. But we're going to be dumping the spell as well as, I'm going to be assuming, the monster. I don't know for Tristalos here instead, or we're going to be banishing the spell, summoning itself out, and then we're going to synchro up into the Escaletus. Escaletus can then activate the effect, allowing us to add back there, and then we can banish the Tristalos to destroy the Escaletos, to summon out 2 level 5s from the deck. And then we're going to be seeing the Escaletos activate, bringing back the Tristalos as well. So here we have a few options. We're going to activate Nibiru there. We do chain the Escaletos, summon out another level 5, and then we make, hopefully, the copy of Samurai Destroyer here. We should have Unicorned earlier. We do make the Samurai Destroyer. We're going to be losing our entire field. But then we get to summon out off the Samurai Destroyer. We are calculating the token here. Yeah, Samurai Destroyer summoned to level 5, and then we can go up into the Cyber Dragon Infinity, end up taking that Nibiru and having the negate as well, which is pretty nice. We also get to search for the trap if we want. Or we can go for like search for Thyvern, and then Thyvern can discard off of the level 5 in the graveyard here. And we opt to do the level 2 instead. That definitely is a misplay on our parts. Yeah, we're going to have to search for the trap. Yeah, it's a very important misplay on our parts. Then we just pass turn on this. We're going to activate the trap right away. I mean, we can synchro 7, I suppose, but they're going to read the trap once again. We're going to normal summon Primula, and then we are going to try to go battle phase here. They're going to attack with Nib, and we are going to activate the trap in response, shuffling back into the deck to pop that Nibiru here. I mean, yeah, keeping us on the field is going to be pretty important. Escaletos will still be able to be summoned, but there's not going to be that much we can do. Maybe a Dawn Dragster as well, but they're going to activate the effect of the Primera. We're going to be chaining the Tristalos to summon at the level 5. Going up into a Dawn Dragster here, which is going to be just a spell and trap negate. Decent against the deck, but I don't know if it's going to be coming in clutch. We're going to be seeing them now go up into the Centurion. The other one there, whether that's going to be Trudea or Primera, I'm not exactly sure. I believe this is Trudea. Then we're going to activate the stand-up Centurion here. They're going to activate the effect, discarding the Phalanx, and we should chain the FA here. But we opt to not. We're We're going to be seeing the Atri placed in the Spell and Trap card zone. They still have one card left in the hand. Now we are in the main phase 2, so we're not going to be able to die this turn, which is going to be pretty nice, but I believe we just stop the monsters from hitting the field in our minds. We're just kind of winning it that way. So we're going to be seeing the Atri summoning itself out, and then that's going to be able to be turned. And we're going to go for the other one there, and we do negate it, turning it to a level 5 now, making them only have one monster on the field. And they just pass turn on this, and we're going to be pretty much in game. You know, we have a Spell and Trap on the field. We have a Spell and Trap negate on the field. We have the Sulfador can destroy the Crystron to then dump 2. We're going to be dumping the Smyger as well as the Thyvern, and we're able to go full Crystron combo. We're going to be seeing them banish the Smyger to search for a spell. And we still have the spell in the graveyard, which can reborn as well. Then we're going to be going for Thyvern, searching for a monster. And yeah, we're going to be essentially full comboing here completely. We're going to normal summon out the Tristalos. And then we're going to synchro off into Escalatus once again. We're going to activate the effect. And we're playing into Nibiru here, it looks like. But they only have one card left. And if it is Nibiru, then at this point, it is what it is. We're going to see everything turn to attack position there. And we're going to activate the effect, trying to pop both of them. And we're going to be shuffling back the Escalatus into the extra deck here. And then we're going to go battle phase. Or we're going to actually activate how many summons is this? And we show only 3. And they're going to defeat there right away. So we end up winning the duel in game 2. Now move on to the all-important game 3 with Centurion finally going to be able to go first. Centurion actually has a decent going second matchup when you're able to play with a bunch of hand traps. They do play through the board quite easily, and we can pick apart stuff with Shambara and stuff like that, as well as like Quandrax being able to banish 3 cards on the field, or 3 monsters on the field, I should say. There is quite a bit that we can do, and in the graveyard as well, so like making sure that we just get rid of the Centurion cards altogether can be definitely clutch. But moving on to game 3, we are going to be seeing Centurion Bestial kind of have the advantage here. Now, the Bestial cards aren't going to be the greatest against us, obviously, because we are only playing lights. We're not playing any lights or darks other than like the extra deck cards. And, you know, all our stuff are water there, so they're going to be having to banish their own things. And a lot of their stuff are not lights and darks themselves. And, of course, like the Nibiru is not going to be in the graveyard because we just don't have any of it. They do start off with the stand-up Centurion, and that's going to make them discard a card, but they do be able to summon out the Primula, activating the effect, allowing herself to be placed in the Spell and Trap card zone, and then you're placing the Trudea in the other Spell and Trap card zone here. So we do now have access to the whole Centurion combo. We're going to see them activate the effect now, and we do take a second to read, and I want to say this prevents it from being Ghost Ogre, because I believe we are playing Ghost Ogre at the time. And so we do Ghost Ogre this here. And they do activate the Oath, which is going to be doing the exact same thing anyways, but placing the Atri in the Spell and Trap card zone now, which can then summon itself out and give them an additional draw. So we have that ability to then summon and draw. Okay, we do control an Oath and a Centurion in the graveyard here. And then we can activate the effect of the stand-up, discarding a copy of perhaps a Light and Dark so we can get any of our Pistols online. We're going to be seeing this discarding an Ash Blossom. So their hand must be pretty good. We're going to see the Gargoyle being placed in the Spell and Trap card zone, which can still summon itself out and then allow them to synchro summon here, which we are going to be seeing. We see Droll and Lockbird in the hand there as well. That's a pretty good card against a deck that searches quite a bit. But then we synchro up into the Legacia here, allowing us to get that additional draw, and we get to add back that Gargoyle here. And we take a second to read this. I thought that it had a pop and draw, but I was mistaken. And we see the end phase. We're going to place back that Primera back into the Spell and Trap card zone here. And then we're going to start off with the spell, which is going to let us search our deck for anything, which we're going to be met with a Draw and Lockbird on resolution here. But they do decide to chain the Primula and then chain the Trudea as well. We're summoning itself out, both of them here. And then we're going to be adding the Crystron Sulfador to our hand, which can then dump to, which does play around Droll a little bit, being able to dump certain cards once we see that Droll and Lockbird. But we're going to be activating the effect to Synchro Summon now, and we are like, okay, what's going on here? So they are going to be changed to level and synchroing, I believe. And we do chain a Droll and Lockbird on resolution, and they still have a Baldrake in the hand and an Ash Blossom as well. So pretty nice. So we do synchro up into the Crimson Dragon here, being now a level 12 because we turned the Trudea into a level 8. And we take a second to read this, wanting to make sure that we have it correctly there. And they're going to activate the effect. Now we do chain droplets on this, discarding a monster being the Solvador, which is going to allow us to then discard the card and summon out. But we can't really summon from the deck, and they can't chain a monster effect to it, so we are in luck. We then activate the effect of Solvador, discarding the Smiger to summon itself, but then we have to destroy, and then we activate the effect. They do chain Ash Blossom to this, negating the effect of Solvador altogether. And now we don't really have access to too much. We're going to go for the Sulfonier summoning itself out. And I believe we still have access to a Cyber Dragon Infinity with all this. But they do chain a Baldrake there, going to be banishing that that Ogre that we had. So now whenever we do try to go up into the extra deck, they are going to be able to Baldrake send, which is going to be very important. We're not going to have access to really anything that we need. We have to pretty much go for the Esqueletos to add back. But the Esqueletos is not going to be able to stick, so we can't go up into anything like that because the Tristalos is not going to be able to destroy the Esqueletos. So the Baldrake is honestly a problem for us. We're going to be seeing the Paraturtle being dumped, trying to allow us to play a little bit more here. We're going to then banish the spell to summon back out the Tristalos. And if we have a Tristalos in the hand, it might be worth going for Paraturtle first. So we're going to go Esqueletos, Chainlink 1, being able to add back. And they do Chainlink 2 Baldrake. Setting the Crimson Dragon there. Then we'll be banishing the Esqueletos. And it doesn't get the effect, unfortunately, which would have been so crazy if it did. We then go over banishment of Terror Turtle to summon out the Tristalos. But we're again going to go end phase. We're going to be seeing the Legatia. We chain the Tristalos here, summoning out from the deck the Solvador. And then we're going to go up into our lovely copy of Samurai Destroyer is not going to be enough here. We're just trying to stall at this point. So we go for Samurai Destroyer, and they're just going to pass turn on that. We have one set, but we're not going to be doing anything. If we do end up going to the next turn, we actually have lots in our arsenal to be able to banish and search, but we're still very behind. Samurai Destroyer just kind of floats into things. This floats into the Solvador, and then Solvador floats once again. So we do have this going for us, but they still have so much to be able to search for and things like that. They're able to just overpower us if they can summon out a whole bunch of bodies or bounce back that copy of Samurai Destroyer. We're going to be seeing the Primera being placed. Then we're going to activate the effect in the main monster zone, pushing it back to the Spell and Trap Card zone and placing another one into the Spell and Trap Card zone, which can then summon itself out once again. And as you guys can see here, we have the whole Centurion combo going on. And that Baldrake sticking on the field is very important. We're going to be seeing the Gargoyle sending the stand-up because we don't need it anymore. So we can summon itself out for free, essentially. And then we still have the Primera in the Spell and Trap Card zone, or the Trudea here, I should say, to bump itself up and then synchro summon here. So we are kind of thinking on how we want to play through this. I believe there is a droplet set in our back row, but it's still not going to be enough. We're going to go battle phase, attack, and we do activate a droplets here. We're going to go attack, attack, attack. And that's just going to be a whole lot of damage, leaving us with 150. But then they're going to be able to go up into an SP, I believe, or the Auxilla, which can then place stuff back into the Spell and Trap Card zone here. And we're looking at what we have left. We search for the stand-up, but we have nothing. Time is about to get called here any moment as well, so we're extremely down. And they just pass turn on this. We have only the graveyard here in a top deck, so we have to deal 7,000 damage in like less than a minute. That's not going to happen. So we end up seeing time get called during our main phase, I believe. We're draw for turn, and time does get called. We do have Enormous Summon Tristalis, which is going to be one of the best cards for us to end up drawing into. We then activate the Smigger, letting us search for a spell, and they do chain the trap. We then chain the Tristalos, allowing us to synchro and summon and synchro here. We go up into, which it should be the Samurai Destroyer. We go up into a Dawn Dragster, just so that we can like destroy something. We end up searching for that spell, and on the new chain, they are going to go for the Trudea. But time gets called, and like they're going to chain link to the Baldrix and the Trudea. Time gets called here, and we see essentially all our stuff get hit. We still have some plays because we can like continue playing, but there's not much that we can do. You know, we can end up going into the level 5, which can go into a Nova, going into Infinity. We're going to be seeing the Atri summon itself out, then Synchro summon away, which going up into the whatever it's called, the big bestial guy, which just is another interruption here. It's like we're really losing. We see the spell going to be activated here, which allows us to search, but like there's not much that we can do. We're so behind. It honestly just hurts. And like time does get called. We have a few cards in the graveyard that does still activate. We still have like a few things that we can go for. We can go for a Nova and then an Infinity, but it's not going to do too much for us. We search for the trap, hoping that maybe we'll play during the next turn. And we kind of see like what we can do. We go for Sulfador, destroying the spell, summoning itself out, and then it can dump too, but there's not much to dump. As well as they have the Dispater, which can put us cards back and stuff like that as well. So they have negates. They have everything that they really need. There's not much we can do. They also have Nib in the hand as well. So the game is essentially going to be over. We're just trying to see how far we can go at this point. How we can kind of navigate this board. But yeah, we see Centurion end up taking the win here. We're going to summon out the Sulfador. We then overlay for a Nova into an Infinity. We now have a spell and trap negate, or a monster negate in this case, for the next turn, but there's not much that we can do. We're going to activate the effect to sucking up that Legacia, but we really have nothing. Like, we set a card, we set the trap, and that's really about it. Like, we're going to go for Sulfador, summon, and destroy itself. We're going to activate the effect, and they do Dispater negate. We then chain the Infinity, and this is going to allow them to nib us here, and we don't have an Infinity negate anymore, so we go for a Citri, and then we just pass turn on it, but the end of phase is going to happen, and we just admit defeat there. So yeah, we see Centurion end up taking the win in the game 3 through time, as well as even without time, we would see them smoking us here with that double Nibiru in the hand. Regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, have some more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.